Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest speaker is a director at the Wealth Management Center for Communications and Research Incorporated and works as an independent advisor with focus on private wealth advisory and solution services based in Manila. He is a sought-after speaker on private wealth management and is an acknowledged authority on health finance in the country. He is a graduate of the University of the Philippines in Cebu with a bachelor's degree in business management. He also holds a graduate certificate in business economics with distinction and has completed academic requirements leading to a master's degree in business economics from the University of Asia and the Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sir Jong Merida.
Okay. Hi guys. Good afternoon. So are you eating lunch already? Guys, what we'll do, no? When the food arrives, you just continue eating. Because I need to leave there around 4 o'clock. No? So if you're to finish, tuloy-tuloy na lang tayo. Okay? How many are advisors now? Okay. And how many are not? Okay. So let me ask the people who are not, what brought you here today? What were you told? You just came? No expectations? Learning. Learning. How many are not advisors here? Because you know, it's a holiday, diba? You could have decided to stay home, rest. Are you working? You're working? And so you had a decision to make this morning. You decided when you woke up, I'm not going to stay home, I'm going to go to BGC, and I'm going to listen to some person talk. That's a big decision, diba? For the advisors who chose not to see clients today, and instead come here, that's also a big decision. Why? Every minute you're sitting down here, you're not making business. You're not earning money. So when you decided to come here today, there should have been an expectation. Agree?
Yes.
And so what made you decide to come here? What made you decide? Why are you here?
To learn.
To learn? What else?
To learn some pointers.
To
learn some pointers from users.
Okay. To learn, for you guys who are not advisors, what? You came here to learn? Opportunity? To network, okay. How about you? Are you an advisor? Yes? Why did you decide to come here? Don't be scared. Don't be scared. You won't give a wrong answer. Believe me, they'll still feed you lunch even if you get the wrong answer. You see, the reason I'm asking you is everything you do is with purpose. Right? We don't do things because we got nothing better to do. And if you came here to learn, and that's the only reason why you came here, you're wasting your time. Right? Why? Why are you wasting your time? Ano bang pinagkaiba sa taong may alam sa taong walang alam? That's right. The only difference is action. Right? Even if ang dami mong alam, walang application, wala kang pinagkaiba sa taong walang alam. And therefore, you come here to learn, and you're hoping that what you learn is something valuable to you. That's the define application. Because if that's not going to translate to action, you're wasting your time. And wasting your time is not something that you should do. Agree? How many are you here? How many are you? Quickly. About 50? 50 here. If I talk for 2 hours and it's no good, I waste 2 hours of my time. But I waste 100 hours of yours. And that's a lot of time. And you could have done so much with 100 hours. And therefore, when I decided to come here today, I had a purpose. And that is to make sure that I do not waste your time. And I'm hoping that the same purpose you share with me. That you came here not to waste your time. And if you came here to learn and it all stays up here lang, you're wasting your time. Right? So who among you here have kids 10 years old and below? 10 years old? 10 years old. Okay. 10 years old. Are you the mom of that little girl? She's very nice. I was talking to her earlier. No, 3 years old. Okay.
They came from Baguio.
Baguio?
Just to be here.
Really? Wow. Okay. I usually start off my talk by giving out a book. Okay? But unfortunately, the stock of the book has run out. But I'd like to ask, is anybody here celebrating a birthday today? Anyone celebrating a birthday? Wala? On the 16th. What's today? 11, 12? Today. Who's celebrating today? Wala? Then no one gets a book. So what's your name? What's your name? Annabelle. And you're based in Baguio? Okay. Make sure you give Joey your mailing address to send you. Because you came all the way from Baguio. Unless somebody here also came from a farther place.
Far view.
Yes, a fully booked in Okay, so, tinanong ko kayo kung meron ba kayong children. Guys, let's make this informal. I realize that you must be hungry and it's difficult for you to focus, but the reason why I asked you if you have kids 10 years old and below is because, you know, if you have a kid that's less than 10 years old, you know that his attention span inside the classroom is 20 minutes. You know? Did you know that? Yung mga anak nyo na less than 10 years old, inside the classroom, they cannot focus for more than 20 minutes. Yan ang biggest challenge ng education ngayon. Paano mo turuan yung mga bata when they cannot concentrate inside the classroom? Right? But when they go home to your houses and they start playing the video games, there's no problem with concentration. They can focus for hours on end, di ba? Aawayin mo pa. Pag alas 10 na, tama na yan, malapit na ma. Malapit na matapos. So they can focus and concentrate for hours on end with playing a video game, but cannot do the same when they're inside the classroom. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? Lack of interest. Yes, what's your name? Melly, that's a good one. Lack of interest. That's the word we're looking for. It's interactive. When you're playing a game, a video game, it's two-way. It's interactive. You do something on the game responds, and you respond to what the game responds to. So it's two-way. Teacher, one way. Agree? Teacher, one way. So here, you want to learn. You want to learn, right? Yes. Then you have to participate. Because if you are going to sit down there for the next 2-3 hours, listening to me, and you think I can change your life, it's not going to happen. You will not remember what I'm going to say. You know what to remember? What you respond to when I ask you a question. You will not forget that. You always remember what you say, but you don't always remember what is said to you. So you want to learn, then you have to participate. You have to collaborate. Otherwise, bukas, mag-uusap kayo ulit, nagtanong nyo sa sarili nyo, ano nga yung pinag-usapan natin kahapon? Then you would have wasted your time. Right? My job is to make sure that when you leave this room today, you will take something with you that hopefully can push you forward in your journey. Right? Otherwise, if you came here, remember nothing, go home, and tomorrow's another day, and there's no memory of what happened the day forward, nothing will change in your life. Do you agree? Yes. So Annabelle, I'm happy to give you a book. Make sure you give your mailing address to Joey. This book was written by me and 2 other people. It's called Dare to Journey, The Path to Meaningful Wealth. It's a wealth management book. Who wants to be wealthy? Who wants to be rich? Okay.
Yay.
Good. Good, good. That's good. Let's see Your hands again. Who wants to be rich?
Yay!
Very good. So, my question then is, so why are you here? I asked you earlier, you could not respond, so now I'm asking you again. Why are you here?
Become rich.
What's your name? You're a yellow in a sea of red. So you stand out, right? What's your name? Chez.
Yes.
C-H-E-Z.
Yes.
Okay, Chez. Why are you here?
I'm here aside from to learn, of course. If I learn something here, then I'll be able to apply it, especially if I'll become a licensed financial advisor.
Oh, so you plan to be,
Yes.
but you're not yet.
Not yet.
What are you doing right now?
I'm working. I work in a BPO.
Okay. Many people work in BPOs now. And a lot of young people are always looking for ways to get another income stream, so that's a good thing, diba? So, are you guys happy with your lives?
Yes.
Are you happy?
Yes.
Raise your hands. Are you happy?
Yes.
Yes. Then why are you here? If you're happy, why are you here?
You want to be happy.
You want to be happier. Right, right. What's your name? Alona. That's a great answer. You want to be happier. So your life is here right now, okay? And you want to take it here. You're happy, but you want to be happier. Agree?
Yes.
Well, I got bad news for you. Your life is not going to change if you remain the same person that you are right now. Right? Do you agree? Your life right now is a function of who you are. Kung nandito yung buhay mo, that's because ikaw nandito ka. Is that clear? You want to take your life to a different level, right? You want to be happier. Not going to happen if you stay the same person that you are right now. Do you agree?
Yes.
You've got to be better. You've got to improve. You've got to transform, right?
Yes.
In other words, you've got to change. Are you willing to change? Who's willing to change? No? Guys, here's the way it works. If your life is here right now, and you want to take it to a different level, you're not going to get to where you want to go by staying exactly the same person that you are right now. Do you agree?
Yes.
And therefore, klaruhin natin from the start. You came here thinking you're going to learn something, you're going to apply, but you're going to be the same person, you're not going to get a different life. A different life requires a different you. Because if you choose to be the same person, then you're going to have the same life. You do exactly the same things, you perform the same rituals, you maintain the same outlook, you retain the same perspective, and you expect a different life? Not going to happen. Do you agree?
Yes.
And therefore, this journey, because this is a journey, from where you are to where you want to go is a journey of discovery. You have to discover what is keeping me from getting the life that I want. I'm not talking to you today as financial advisors. I'm talking to you as people. People with dreams, with hopes, with aspirations, right? And in order for your life to be better, we need to understand, what does it take? What will it take for us to get a better life? And here's rule number one. You're not going to get there by staying exactly the same person that you are right now. Because your current life is a result of who you are right now. This is your life, this is you. You want a different life? You've got to be up there. Is that clear?
Yes.
So, what did we say? You can't get a different life by staying the same person that you are today. Are we agreed on that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so who wants to change? Who's willing to change? Raise your hand. Everybody's willing to change?
Yes.
Okay, I got bad news for you. You're not willing to change. No. So I tell you, you want a different life, you have to be a different person. You say you want to change, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you you don't want to change. I know you don't want to change. Why do I know? Alona, why do I know? Ba't ko alam? You don't know? You don't know why I know? What's your name? Nelly. Nelly. That's my wife's name. Okay. So Nelly, are you an advisor right now? No, you're not. Why do I know that you don't want to change? Why do I know? You think you want to change, right? I asked you, do you want to change? You all raise your hands. But then I ask you, I tell you, you don't want to change. Why do I know? What's your name, sir? Ramon. Why do I know?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know. It's good not to know then. Okay. The reason I know why you don't want to change is because that thing inside your head called your brain that's designed to resist change. Right? It's designed to resist change. Now, guys, tell me, is change easy? No. And there's a reason why it's difficult. The thing inside your head, the human brain, is designed to resist change. And therefore, the biggest obstacle to a better life for you starts with you. Are you prepared to know yourself a little better? Because the only way you can overcome your limitations is to know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, you cannot overcome the things that are holding you back from achieving a better life. So, sino bang psychology graduate dito? Who took up psychology in college? Nobody? Yes? What's your name? Selena? Celine. Okay. If you took up psychology in college, you will know that the human brain does not communicate in words. Right? It communicates in images, in pictures. So every time you hear a word, the brain converts that into an image. No? So that being said, let me ask you the question. When you hear the words prehistoric man, what is the image in your head?
Unggoy.
Man nga eh. Prehistoric man. Caveman. Right, caveman. Describe a caveman. Describe a caveman. Balbasarado, malaking katawan, malaki ang panga, nakabahag,
Hindi.
all the things you have. Hairy,
Nakayukot.
okay? So, they look like this. They look like this, right? Can you see, or should we turn off the light? Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. So, they look like this. Big head, big jaws, 1 pound brain. Prehistoric men had 1 pound brains. That thing inside your head right now is 3 pounds. Sometimes you behave like it's still 1 pound. But here is where it gets interesting. Prehistoric men had big heads, big jaws, 1 pound brain, right? Question, why do they look that way? What's your name? Lisa, can you tell everybody why they look that way?
They adapt to their environment.
Because this is the look needed to survive. Because we adapt to our environment. Remember, cavemen were hunters. Right? At pag nakahuli na sila ng kakainin, what do? They bite off really hard meat. And what does it take to do that? You need big, powerful jaws. If they have the same jaws as you have now, they will not survive. So they look this way because this is what you call an adaptive response to the environment. This is the look needed to survive. Okay? Now, one fine day, cavemen discovered 2 things. What did they discover? Fire is one, yes. What's the other? They discovered tools. Tools. And with the discovery of tools, they learned how to farm. So now they're farming and they have fire. What does that do to food? What happens to food when it's cooked? It becomes softer. And because food became softer, what's the adaptive response to softer food? A smaller jaw. And the smaller jaw freed up space for a bigger brain. And that's the reason why you have a 3 pound brain now. Huh? When food became softer and abundant, understand this, ha? Before, cavemen were nomads. Bakit? Kung nasan yung prey, dun ka pupunta. Di ba? And they had big jaws because they had to bite off really hard meat. And then they discovered fire, and they discovered tools. And then they farm. What does that mean? They don't need to move anymore. They plant and wait for the plants to ripen, and they harvest. And they set down roots, and that's how civilization began. And the adaptive response to softer food, smaller jaw, bigger head, bigger brain, is now 3 pounds. Now here's what's interesting. The brain did not only become bigger, hindi lang lumaki. There's also a new structure there in your head called the prefrontal cortex. That is the seat of reason. That is the part of the brain that makes us the superior animal on this planet. Bakit? Tayo lang ang may capability to look into the future. We're the only animals in the planet capable of planning. Only humans. Did you know that? That's okay if you did not know. But here's where it's interesting. The old 1-pound brain is still there. And it has only one function. And what is it? To guarantee survival. And a brain that wants to guarantee survival does not like uncertainty. A brain that wants to guarantee survival requires security, safety, comfort. In other words, it does not like change. And that's the reason why every time you attempt a change in your life, bakit? Because you're telling the brain, every time you try to do something new, you're bringing it to a territory it's not familiar with. And how does the brain react to that? That's danger. That's risky. I don't want to try that. Kaya napakahirap magbago. Kaya sinasabi ko na sa inyo ngayon, hindi ito magiging madali. Bakit? All of you want to change, right? All of you want a better life. You're not going to get there if you don't change. Change is not going to be easy. And so it's important that you know yourself if you want to change. Who among you here have ever tried losing weight? Losing weight. Okay. Madali, hindi. Mahirap. Bakit? Bakit mahirap? Sarap kumain. Diba? May kaibigan naman medyo mataba siya. Sabi, ano weight mo? Sabi niya, secret. Sabi niya, hindi secret. Kita ko dati. So, why is losing weight difficult? What's your name?
Mark.
Mark. Bakit mahirap, Mark?
Yung sustaining the development once you lose the weight.
Once you lose the weight. What's your name? Russell. Oh, bakit mahirap?
Consistency.
Okay. Sarap kumain, mahirap i-sustain, mahirap consistency. But let me tell you why it's difficult to lose weight. Your brain does not want you to lose weight. You know what happens when you try to lose weight? Okay. What's the first thing you do if you want to lose weight? Diet, bawas pagkain. Now here's the question to ask. What does the brain associate food with? Survival. The brain associates food with survival. And then you go on a diet. The food intake goes down. In the first 2-3 weeks, how does the brain respond to fewer food? It floods your system with adrenaline. Why? That's a prehistoric response to giving you more energy to look for food. So in the first 2-3 weeks, you feel light, you feel energized. But after 2-3 weeks, hindi bumalik yung food level. What does the brain do? It brings down your metabolic rate. The burning rate. Why? If it does not do that, and you're eating less food, you will die. So, everything is happening at the biological level. Pansinin mo, first 2-3 weeks, napakadaling mag-lose ng weight. Why? Because the brain has flooded your system with adrenaline to give you energy to go out. But after 2-3 weeks, nagpa-plateau ang weight loss. Sinasabi mo how to sustain. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're eating more again. It's not because you're not working out. It's because the brain decided, I will adjust to your new eating level. So binababa niya yung burning rate. That's what you call your basal metabolic rate. And then after 4 weeks, sabi ni Mark, humarap sa mirror. Gutom na ako. Tapos nag-work, alam ko, sakit na ng katawan ko. Anong sabi niya sa sarili niya? Tanggap ko ng sarili ko. And then you stop. Right? Right? Hindi siya madali. Why? Every change in your life, the brain will resist that. The brain will resist that. Now, who are advisors here? You want to be MDRT? Yes?
Yes.
You have to do something different. And every time you do something different, what will the brain tell you? Don't do that. Don't do that. That's dangerous. That's hard. Diba? That's how the brain will respond. The human brain is designed to guarantee survival. And therefore it's designed to resist change. Napakahirap magbago. Kayo mga babae, have you had boyfriends na nainiwan nyo na? Tapos bumabalik, ipapromise ulit, magbabago na ako. Tinanggap nyo, hindi? Tinanggap. Nagbago, hindi? Hindi. You know, one of the bigger social issues in the U.S. is spousal abuse. Battered women. You know, in the Philippines, we don't talk about it too much because we are in a macho culture. Well, Pinoy. We are a very macho culture where our legislators are mostly men. All our laws are designed to protect men, largely. No? But in the U.S., spousal abuse is a big concern. Bakit? Karamihan ng mga battered women namamatay. Napapatay ng husbands nila. Okay? So here is where the problem manifests. Many of the husbands who beat up their wives get arrested. Kasi nire-report eh. Nire-report. But 90% of these husbands who get arrested are set free within 1 week. Bakit? Inaatras yung kaso. Sino nag-aatras? Yung babae. Inaatras niya. Bakit? Hoping that kasi mahal mo pa eh. Mahal, di ba? Now, ang problema, hindi naman talaga nagbabago yan. Right? So alam mo kung anong ginawa ng US government ngayon? Hindi na pwedeng i-atras yung kaso. Let's say na-report mo yung husband mo, binugbog ka. Inaresto siya. Tapos 1 week after, i-atras mo, hindi pwede. Sasabihin ng gobyerno sa'yo, kung ayaw mo nang i-pursue yung kaso, bahala ka. Basta kami, tutuloy namin. Kasi kung hindi namin itutuloy, alam namin kung anong mangyayari sa'yo. At some point, because you know, it does not start with being beaten up. It starts with hurtful words. You know, you're insulted. And then later on, you are slapped. And then later on, you are punched. And then later on, you are beaten up. It's progressive, di ba? Change is not easy, guys. So, who wants a different, better, happier life? Who wants to change? It's not going to be easy. I want you to understand this. You know why? Because while I tell you repeatedly that it's not going to be easy, sorry, it is not impossible. Not impossible. Ang sinasabi ko na sa inyo, hindi ito magiging madali. And therefore, kung medyo hindi tayo disidido, at hindi tayo pursigido, at hindi tayo makakasustain, or hindi tayo consistent sa gagawin natin, hindi aabante yung buhay natin. Is that clear? And then I tell you to quit your jobs now, what does your brain tell you to do? No way! Hell no! Yeah. Why? We don't want to change. Correct? So what am I telling you? Be prepared. Because all the time we wish that our lives were better. Many of us think, loto lang yan, loto yung katapat yan. Sinasabi ko na sa inyo ngayon, kahit manalo pa kayo sa loto, hindi magbabago yung buhay niyo kung hindi kayo magbabago. Your level of development dictates your life. And therefore, if your life is here, and you're here, and all of a sudden manalo ka sa loto, it may temporarily go up, but I can guarantee you, hindi mo sasabayan yan sa pagkatao mo, babalik ka din. And that's the reason why lotto winners do not stay wealthy. Right? So let's talk about this, diba? Are you convinced that your future can be better? Are you? Yes?
Yes, sir.
You have to answer yourself. Diba? That your vision can be achieved. Are you convinced
Yes.
that your vision can be achieved? Guys, guys, I want you to answer. You know why? Because number one, you want blessings from life? You want blessings from life?
Yes, sir.
Life does not give blessings to those who don't participate. Diba? You're in the audience, you're not participating in the game, there will be no blessings. You have to put yourself out there. You have to be part of life. And second, the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who are neutral all the time. I ask you a question, you don't answer, you play it safe. You know, this is the problem with our education. We were raised in an educational system where you were not allowed to make mistakes. Right? So what do? What have we raised? Several generations of people who would rather not answer than be wrong. You don't answer, you're wrong right away. Right? You're given a test and you have no answer. Is that correct? Wrong, automatic. You would rather be wrong by doing something than be wrong by doing nothing. So I ask you a question, you answer. Right? For your own sake. I'm not here for myself. I'm here for you. Right? I ask you a question. Are you convinced your life can be better? You don't answer, it will not be. Is that clear? Yes. Tayong Pinoy, no? Tayong Pinoy. We're not used to participating. Bakit? We hide behind, ayokong maging pastaring dyan and all that. Believe me, you don't participate, you will not get anything. You have to participate. You sit down there, you think you're going to change your life, you're wasting your time. What did I tell you at the start? You've got to put yourself out there. Are you convinced that your future can be better?
Yes.
That your vision can be achieved?
Yes.
What's your vision? Okay. That wealth is the ultimate destination of your life. That's interesting. You know why? Okay. We have been raised in a country where manifesting a desire to be wealthy is frowned upon. No? Hypocrite tayo eh. Lahat gusto yumaman, pero huwag mo na akong tanungin. Right? Now here's the problem. You cannot manifest an intention, it's not going to happen. Right? So, yan ang tanong natin. Gusto niyo ng mas magandang buhay, di ba? Unang-una, hindi yan mangyayari kung hindi tayo magbabago. At isa lang ang taong pwedeng makapagbago sa inyo. Sino yun? Sarili nyo lang. And you don't participate, nothing's gonna happen. Is that clear? You have to make a commitment to yourself. Because this change is gonna come from within. I'm not gonna change your life. I can probably help you and guide you in your journey. Pero isa lang ang lumalakbay dito. Sino yun? Ikaw lang. Ikaw lang talaga. So, klaro tayo ha. Klaro tayo.
So there is no way?
Ang reason kung bakit ako nandito today is to give you more or less an idea of what it will take for your life to be better. At ang sinabi ko sa inyo in the last 30 minutes is, ang pinakamalaking hadlang, the biggest obstacle to a better life for you is yourself. Yourself. Bakit? Sino ba ang pumipigil sa pagbabago mo, Alona? Sarili mo na. Bakit? Your brain is designed to resist change. Di ba? Mismong pagising sa umaga, baguhin mo from 6 to 5. Napakahirap, di ba? And before you know it, you're back to waking up at 6. Have you noticed that? You're trying to change a behavior, and you don't stay with it long enough, you go back to that behavior. Why? That's what your brain wants you to do. You know the funny thing when you're trying to lose weight? So you're eating a lot, right? Eating as Mark eats a lot. Example ng Mark. Sabi ni Mark, magbabago na ako. I'm going to start dieting. So anong ginawa? Bumaba yung food intake ni Mark. Nag-exercise si Mark, di ba? Here's the problem. When you're trying to restrict food intake for very long, ganito kasi this is the science of it now. You eat a certain amount of calories to fuel your functions. Diba? Typically for a guy, it's around 2,400 calories. At that rate, you have what you call homeostasis or balance. Okay? Now what do if you want to lose weight? You create a caloric deficit. Kasi, if you are expending the same energy of the calories you're eating, you don't gain, you don't lose. Is that clear? You eat 2,4, you expend 2,4, you maintain balance. So if you want to lose weight, you need to create what you call a caloric deficit. Meaning, you burn more than what you eat. So instead of eating 2,4, you bring it down to 1,6. But your energy expenditure remains at 2,4. So the 800, saan niya kinukuha yan? From your fat over the long term. Okay? Pero pag ganyan lagi, may signal sa brain, Mark. Yung 1,6, matagal. Ang gagawin niya, bababaan niya yung energy expenditure mo even when you're doing the same things. Bakit? Always looking for balance. Balance. And therefore, part of the challenge is really how to trick your brain into constantly burning by not staying with a diet for very long. Hindi pwedeng deficit ka lang all the time. That's why crucial talaga yung movement. Crucial yung exercise. You know why? May sequence dito nung burn ng katawan. First, it burns carbs. They're the most bioavailable source of energy. Carbohydrates. Second is it burns protein. What does that mean? It burns your muscle first before it burns your fat. So if you're not exercising, you're not building muscle, but you're just creating a caloric deficit, you lose muscle first before you lose fat. So you know what happens? You're at 200. You're not exercising, you're just dieting, you go down to 180. You lost muscle first before you lost fat, and then you quit. The 20 that comes back, baligtad ang sequence. The first that comes back is the fat. So pagbalik mo sa 200, you're fatter, even if you're at the same weight. Is that clear? I want you to understand how the brain responds to any change that you initiate within you. Why do you think your muscles are painful when you lift weights? Where is that lactic acid coming from? It's coming from the brain, giving a signal to the muscle. Be careful, you don't adjust. The same weight later will still be painful. So everything is coming from the brain. And the brain is designed to resist change. Diba? That's the reason why we want the status quo. Why? The status quo is safe. Safe. Why do battered women never leave their husbands? That's an interesting question, diba? But anyway, let's continue. So, you want to change your life, it's difficult but not impossible. So today, we're going to talk about the tools that you may need in order for the change to happen. What did I say? Change is not impossible. It's not easy, it's painful, but not impossible. So these three tools will help you in getting to where you want to go. First, you've got to anchor your life on a higher game of vision and purpose. Come on, ang tanong dito sa sarili ko talaga, saan ko ba talaga gustong dalhin ang buhay na to? Natanong mo na ba yan sa sarili mo? Okay, etong problema natin. Kadamihan sa atin, wala man lang talagang destination sa buhay. Di ba? Guys, ang barko na walang patutunguhan, hindi lalayag yan. Di ba? If I have no destination, I'm staying put. Right? You have no vision for your life. You don't have a target. You don't have an objective. You're not even on a journey. You're staying put. And if you stay put, you're not going to get a better life. Second, you need to master the inner game of the mind. Ito, hindi natin pag-uusapan to today, unless may time. Pero ito kasi mahaba to eh. Pero si Joey, expert din kasi dito. Kaya pwede niyong pag-usapan on your own time. And then lastly, you want money?
Yes.
You want money?
Yes.
You better understand money. Very few people understand money. Okay? So these are the three tools. The higher game, the inner game, the outer game. And they come in a sequence. So we have to start with the higher game. Guys, eto ha. Kung nasan man kayo sa buhay nyo ngayon, ang manifestation nyo ay sana gumanda yung buhay nyo. Mas maging happy kayo. Mas maging makapuluhan. Mas maging meaningful. Diba? In other words, tayo lalakbay from where you are to where you want to go. Hindi mangyayari yan. Hindi nyo maaabot yung gusto nyo maabot kung walang pagbabago na mangyayari. And what are we saying? There are three tools. We're going to talk about only one tool today. And that is vision and purpose. Hopefully, if we get another opportunity to have another session, then I can talk to you about the two other tools. But today, we talk about the most important tool. And what is that? Vision. We need to talk about vision. So, eto ang tanong ko sa inyo. Nasaan kayo ngayon sa buhay nyo? Where are you in your lives right now? Where are you? What's your name, sir?
Joseph.
Joseph. Where are you, Joseph, in your life?
I'm starting to build a new career
Okay.
and belong to my career.
Are you an advisor now?
Yes.
Yes?
Talang
New.
No, 6 months already.
6 months. Okay, that's new. Mark, where are you in your life right now?
Kasi student ako, maging advisor pala.
Okay.
And
Okay. Let me tell you where you are. Because I know you don't want to change. Go on. And I know where you are in your life right now. You're in a comfort zone. Right? All of you, all of us, are in a comfort zone. Why? That's where your brain wants you to be. In the comfort zone, it is safe. In the comfort zone, it is comfortable. It is secure. But no one grows. That's the reason why they say the hardest place to get out of in your life is your comfort zone. So etong tanong, how do you get out of your comfort zone? When that's exactly where your brain wants you to be. Diba? How do you get out of your comfort zone? All decisions in your life are anchored in just these things: the pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of pain. And you know what they say? If the pleasure you're pursuing is not irresistible, or the pain you're avoiding is not unbearable, you will not change. Nasaan ka ngayon? Nandito ka sa comfort zone. Dalawa lang ang pwedeng makapag-move out sa'yo dyan sa comfort zone. You'll be pulled out of it by an irresistible pleasure, or you will be pushed out of it by an unbearable pain. Kung wala ka ng dalawa, you will not change. So eto tanong ko sa inyo. What's your unbearable pain? Do you have an unbearable pain in your life? Do you have an unbearable pain? What's your name, sir?
Almer, sir.
Almer. Do Do you have an unbearable pain? Kasi ito this morning, you woke up, you decided, I'll come here today. You sit down, haven't had lunch, but we'll have lunch at some point. You listen a little, you eat a lot. You go home, you eat dinner, you go to sleep tomorrow. If you don't change, will you die? No. You don't have an unbearable pain. Huh? You know why battered wives never leave their husbands? Is it painful to be battered? Then why don't they leave? Why don't they leave? Masakit, di ba? Masakit ka bugbugin, di ba? I mean, I haven't experienced it. I was never a wife. But I can tell you that it's painful, right? But why don't wives leave their abusive husbands? That's the question. What's your name again? Nelly. How can I forget, right? Nelly. Why don't, are you married? Okay. Why do you think wives never leave their abusive spouses? Bakit hindi? Masakit bugbugin, di ba? Bakit hindi iniiwan?
Fear.
Yes.
Maybe they don't want to make a mistake.
Maybe they don't want to make a mistake again. Okay, clearly they prefer the status quo over something different. Right? Why? Joseph?
They have some considerations like for the child.
Okay? Because the pain of being beaten up is less painful than the pain of possibly losing the children. The pain of being beaten up is less painful than not knowing where your support will come from. Everything in life is pain and pleasure. And the only reason why you don't want to change is because the pain is not yet unbearable, or the pain is more bearable than another pain that will come if you make that decision. So ngayon, anong sinabi natin? Wala kayong unbearable pain. Di ba? Wala kayong unbearable pain. At anong sinabi natin? What can get you out of your comfort zone? What can get you out of there? You're pushed out of there by an unbearable pain, or you are pulled out of there by an irresistible pleasure. Now, you don't know your vision, and you don't know your pain, you will not change. Is that clear?
Yes.
You don't have an irresistible pleasure represented by a vision of your life. You don't have an unbearable pain that will force you to change. You are exactly where your brain wants you to be at, and that's in a comfort zone. And you know, in the comfort zone, no change takes place. Is that clear?
Yes.
What's the message of that video view?
You need to accept the pain.
There will be pain.
Yes.
You want change? There will be pain. Diba? Let's accept that. That's how your brain resists your attempt to change. How does it manifest it? Pain. And so, hindi siya madali. Bakit? Sinabi natin kanina, the brain resists. Diba? The brain resists it through pain. You want to change? There will be pain. What else? What else? Annabelle, what's your takeaway from this one?
Pain you gain.
With pain, you gain. Now, here's the takeaway. The main takeaway of this lesson is this. When you have no choice in life, you will go forward. Just like the eagle. The eagle, simple lang eh. Change or
Die.
die. Napakasimple. The choices were clear. Change, live. Do not change, die. Eh kayo, anong choices niyo? Ang dami. Ang daming choices. You know why? The brain gives you many choices. It wants you to stay safe. Right? Kung hindi ko ubrat yung sunlight ko, may mag-network marketing ako. Ang daming tinitingnan. Di ba? Pag nag-a-apply ng trabaho, ang daming ina-applyan. Pag naniligaw ng babae, ang daming niniligawan. Di ba yung sabi mo sa akin, Mark? Why? Your brain prefers options. It's human nature to look for a fallback position. But what did this teach you? When you decide to commit, when failure is no longer an option. Well, okay, who wants to retire here? Who wants to retire? Okay. Lisa, what is retirement to you?
Going on a holiday.
Define retirement.
Going on a holiday with paid, even if I have
Okay. What's your name again? Mercy. Define financial freedom.
Financial freedom is, I don't need to work every day, but I still get what I need and what I want.
Okay. Okay. Comfortable life. Secure. No worries about money. When do you want to be financially free? Now. Now. So here's my question to you. Retirement. Comfortable life. Secure. No worries about money. When do you want to retire? 65. Financial freedom. Comfortable life. Secure. No worries about money. When do you want to be financially free? Now. How do you explain the difference in the timeline? Pareho lang naman yan. Huh? How do you explain? Pag tinanong ko kayo, what's retire? What's retirement? Comfortable life, secure, no worries about money, 65. Who wants to be financially free? Comfortable life, secure, no worries about money, I want it now. Same life, different timelines. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? Okay. Retirement and financial freedom, they're one and the same thing. And they're not an age. It's a number. An amount of money that will allow you to say, tomorrow when I wake up, I don't have to worry about another day of work for the rest of my life.
Just in time.
Yeah, no. It's on cue. It's an amount of money, guys, that will allow you to say, bukas, when I wake up, I don't have to worry about another day of work for the rest of my life. Here's the problem. You don't know that number, you're not going to get there. Right? The reason why 99% of all Filipinos cannot retire is because they don't know the number. DPI recently came out with a study. 99% of all Filipino seniors are not financially viable until death. What does that mean? Not financially viable until death. Ano yung sabihin? Ubus na ang pera, hindi pa ubus ang buhay. Ha? Wala nang pera, buhay pa. Malaking problema yan. Bakit? Guys, tayo mga Pinoy, we belong to the sandwich generation. They're actually bibingka generation. Anong bibingka? How do you cook bibingka? How do you cook bibingka? Fire from above, fire from below. Right? The typical Filipino adult is supporting parents, supporting children. Who'll support you? No one is actually actively engaged in creating a retirement fund. And why? Wala talagang pag-create sometimes. Yung parents, sinusuportahan mo. Yung mga anak mo, sinusuportahan mo din. I'm telling you, I'll tell you a personal story. So my father-in-law, the father of my wife, had a medical emergency. And they found out that aside from 3 blocked arteries, he had 99% blockage in the carotid artery on the right, and almost 100 on the left. In other words, this was a walking time bomb. Okay? So sabi ng mga doctors, titirahin namin, pero no guarantees mabubuhay ito, ha? So they performed the surgery. He survived. But the recovery process was very long, painful, and expensive. It reached a point na tinapik ako ng doktor. Huwag mong kalimutan ang buhay, ha? Nakita niyo, mga anak ko, maliliit pa nun eh. You're spending money on someone who's eventually gonna die, but you're mortgaging the future of the children because of the decision to spend money on the old person. That's a dilemma every Filipino has to go through. Bibingka generation tayo. And you don't know that number? You're not actively trying to get to that number? It's not going to happen. Etong problema natin Pinoy. In the 60s and the 70s, and even in the early 80s, a typical Filipino will stay with one company for 19 years. Right? 19 years. Ano ibig sabihin niyan? May tenure. So may tenure, upon retirement may tatanggapin. Diba? Retirement natin, 60. So you are 60 years old, you retire, Mercy, you stay with one company for 19 years, you have retirement pay. And you'll be dead by 67 at that time. So may pera, retired at 60, 7 years na lang ang bubunuin. Ngayon, anong nangyayari? Anong nangyayari ngayon? Joseph, how old are you? 34. Mark, how old are you?
24.
24. Will you stay with one company for 5 years?
I think so.
The typical millennial will say no. Tagal niyan, 5 years. You know, I'm a consultant for a BPO, and we run what we call an employee retention program. The objective is very simple. Keep the employee for 36 months. Kasi kadamihan ng mga millennials ngayon, cellphone lang katapat eh. Bigyan kita iPhone, lipat ka. Daming ganyan, di ba? So the company spends money to get you on board. And they need 36 months to recover the investment. Hindi magawa. They cannot keep the employee for 36 months. 27 months lang maalis na. Anong ibig sabihin niyan? Ang Pinoy ngayon, palipat-lipat na talaga. So, what happens? Palipat-lipat. Walang tenure. Walang retirement pay yan. Di ba? Wala kang tenure, wala kang retirement pay. Etong pangalawang problema. Hindi na 60 ang retirement ngayon. Ano na? 52 na. Bakit? Bakit? Unang-una, ang matandang empleyado tulad ko, matigas ang ulo. Diba? Ang hirap i-motivate na matatanda. Ako pa tuturuan mo, ako matanda dito. Diba? Ganun mong sabi tayo matanda. Diba? Pangalawa, mahal. Matagal na yan eh. Mahal sweldo. Diba? So anong ginagawa? Companies redundate. That's the term. They redundate. So now, you're 52, you're retired, you have no tenure, you have no money. And here is the kicker. You die at 77. So you're looking at 25 years. Right? 25 years na wala kang pera, pero hindi ka na kumikita. Buhay ka pa. Ramon. Malaking problema. Diba? So guys, napaka-importante. Gusto niyo yumaman? Gusto niyo yumaman?
Yes.
First step, alamin ang number. What is the number that will set you free? When I tell you what's rich, who wants to be rich? And I tell you what's rich, that's a number. That's a number. And that is unique to you. Bakit? May mga tao na magsasabi, for me, mayaman is simpleng pamumuhay, okay na yung buhay ko ngayon, basta masustain ko lang. May mga ganyang tao. May mga tao din magsasabi, kung mayaman ako, dapat may Ferrari ako. Alright? Walang masama doon. But whatever your definition of wealth, financial freedom, or retirement is, you have to convert that into a number. Who among you here have been part of an exercise where you were told to make a vision board? Okay. If you stopped at that, all you have is a vision board, and you didn't convert that into a number, that's not going to happen. Why? Because you still need to buy those things. And unfortunately, the universe does not do that to you. They'll come from you. You need a number. So what's your number. Is somebody trying to go out or go in? No one's there? It's opportunity knocking. So guys, we're setting your vision, okay? We're setting your vision. Where do you want to take this life? What's your irresistible pleasure? What's your number? Dapat alam natin, Joseph. Kung sinabi mong mayaman ka, ano yung numero niya? Ano yung numero niya? Kapag may ganyang pera ka, masasabi mo, kahit hindi na ako magtrabaho for the rest of my life, ayos na ako. Hindi mo alam yung numerong yan, wala kang ginagawa para maabot yan. At pag wala kang ginagawa para maabot yan, hindi mo makakabot yan. And that's the reason why many people don't become rich. They don't even articulate or define the goal. Right? Now, for those of you who are financial advisors, that's your job. You have to know your number. Why? Because you're supposed to help your clients know their number and guide them from where they are to where they want to go. That's your job. Okay? And then lastly, how bad do you want? Do you know Socrates?
Yes.
I mean, not personally, but have you heard of Socrates?
Yes.
Tanungin natin ito si Ramon. Ramon, kilala mo si Socrates? Not personally. Okay. But you know what they say, no? It's easier to know history if you live through it. So, for those of you who don't know Socrates, Socrates is a renowned Greek philosopher. Okay? He is reputed to be the most intelligent of all Greek philosophers. Can you imagine that? Supposedly, mas matalino kay Plato ito, si Socrates. Just to give you a context, are you familiar with Steve Jobs?
Yes.
Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was asked the question, if you can spend one day with anyone from history, who will that be and how much are you willing to pay? Yun ang tanong kay Steve Jobs. His answer, one day with Socrates, I'm willing to give up Apple. That was his answer. So this guy, Socrates, is a very smart guy. And so one day, a young man named Mark went up to Socrates and asked Socrates the question, Socrates, what is the key to success? Yun ang tanong mo, Mark. Kasi bata ka pa eh. Gusto mong mag-succeed, di ba? Gusto mong yumaman. So yung tinanong mo si Socrates ngayon, Socrates, what is the key to success? Anong sagot ni Socrates? Albert, anong sagot niya? Ang sagot niya, you want to know the key to success? Meet me by the river tomorrow. Yun. Kasi si Socrates, bading yan. Bading si Socrates. Pero, wala, yung kabadingan niya, wala sa kwento natin. Pero sinabi niya sa iyo, Mark, meet me by the river tomorrow. So the following day, nakita si Mark at si Socrates sa river. And Socrates told Mark, walk with me to the middle of the river. So they walked. Pataas na pataas yung tubig. Nung nasa gitna na sila, nilunod ni Socrates si Mark. He drowned Mark. But Mark did not want to die. So what did you do? Of course, he resisted and struggled. And finally, he struggled and he struggled. He broke free from the hand of Socrates. And when he surfaced, nakita niya si Socrates alone na. Tinatawanan siya. At tinanong ni Socrates si Mark, Mark, when you were down there, what was it you wanted the most in the whole wide world? When you were down there? What was it? Air! Air! And you know what Socrates said? If you want something as badly as you want air, you will succeed. What does that mean? Ano man yung vision nyo, you must want that so badly. It must be your irresistible pleasure. It must be clear, it must be defined, it must be articulated, it must be compelling, it has the ability to pull you from where you are, past pain, for that to be achieved. Is that clear? Ganun ka-importante ang goal sa buhay. Yan ang role ng goal sa buhay. Dapat it has the power to pull you. Kung wala, hindi mangyayari. Okay? So, do you have an idea of what your vision is in life? Yes? Lisa? Okay. Sabihin na natin, yung number mo, Lisa, ikaw pa may asawa na? Okay, ilan anak mo? 1. Kakata ka pa? You're still planning to have kids? Out of stock. Bakit? Saan ba kinukuha yan? Okay. Because the moment you have your number, and that number can be anywhere from 50 million to... Ganito, I'll give you an example. Ano yung number na yan, ha? Annabelle, give me an estimate. Okay. Can you imagine living your financially free lives right now? Kayo. I want you to imagine living your financially free life. Your vision of a financially free life, no? Ikaw lang pwede mag-imagine yan kasi kanya-kanya tayo ng vision eh, di ba? Eh, wag lang si Annabelle. What's your name? Grace. Grace? Grace. Ito ba, nakikita mo? Nakikita mo yung gusto mong buhay? Nakikita mo na? Okay. Tanungin kita, Grace. Ito, simplified version, ha? Sa buhay na gusto mong mangyari, magkano yung gagastusin mo kada buwan para maging totoo yung buhay na yan? 50K? Sabihin mo na. Kasi ganito. Yung numero na yan, anong significance niyan? Wala namang meaning yung numero na yan eh. But that is a number that will allow you to provide the life that you want your children and your family to live. So you can probably have the house of your dreams there. Kung saan mo sila palalakihin. Yung mga kotse na gusto mong ma-own, para pagdaan mo, hindi ka kapitbahay mo. Diba? Yung mga schools, kung saan mo gusto mag-aral yung mga anak mo. Para yung kinabukasan nila, mas maganda. Yung mga bakasyon, na gusto mong dalhin sila. Para yung memories nyo will last you for a lifetime. Yung contribution mo sa iyong community, to define your legacy. In other words, lahat sakop ng numero na yan. So Grace, 50K? 600K a year. Diba? 600K a year. Anong inflation rate natin ngayon? 4.5. Sabihin na natin 5. Okay? How old are you? 35. When do you want to be financially free? 5 years? Sabihin na 5 years. 600,000 a year. Right? Inflation of 5%. Okay? When she's 40 years old and she's 35 right now, a lifestyle of 600,000 is now worth 1 million. Based on inflation, right? She'll be 40. Correct? And that lifestyle will increase by 5% each year. And she'll die at 80, 40 years. You know how much you'll need to be financially free? 75 million. That's your number. You have 75 million. Tomorrow, masasabi mo na, Grace, okay na ako. Mayaman na ako. For me, mayaman na ako. In my standard, mayaman na ako. You should know your number, 75 million. So in her case, 75 million. Now, ang unang tanong, Grace, bakit yan ang gusto mong buhay? Ito. Why do you want that life? Why does it matter yung buhay na yan? Kasi ganito guys, the moment klaro na sa inyo yung number nyo, no? Yung numero na yan, material na bagay yan, ha? Ibig sabihin, ang numero na yan is what will make it happen for you to buy your dream house. What's your name, sir? Francis. Francis. So, nakikita mo naman yung bahay na gusto mong bilhin, mayaman ka. Lahat tayo, lagi nag-iisip na ganyan. Kung mayaman ako, eto yung bahay na bibili ko, dito ako titira. Eto yung mga kotse ko, di ba? Material lahat ng bagay na yan. At alam nating lahat na ang vision na walang purpose, medyo mahirap na buhay yan. Di ba? Tanungin mo sarili mo, ba't mo gusto maging mayaman? Why is it important to you? Why does it matter? What's the purpose of that life? Kasi kung wala kang purpose, sabihin ko sa inyo, ang daming mayayaman na nagpapakamatay pa rin. Bakit? Walang purpose yung buhay. Di ba? Being rich is not a purpose. It can be your vision. It can be your destination. It can be your goal. But that's not the purpose. What is the purpose of your life? So the moment meron na tayong numero, ang tanong, what is the purpose of that life? Why do you want that life? What's your name, sir?
Archie,
Archie. What's the purpose of that life?
to give more.
Okay. So, purpose is very important because it's what gives meaning to the vision. Without purpose, vision is meaningless. It's like you're always searching for something you can't find. Di ba? Akala mo, magiging happy ka na kung mabibili mo itong bahay na to. Nabili mo na, gusto mo mas malaki. Akala mo, magiging happy ka na, nabili mo itong coaching to. Nabili mo na, gusto mo mas maganda. Hindi ka kontento. Bakit? Hanggat hindi klaro ang purpose ng buhay mo, mahirap makontento. So here, no more speaker? Yeah? Did it die because it had no power?
I think it's charged already, sir.
Yeah? Because I have a video to play. Hopefully it's...
There's a beautiful Indian story about a musk deer with a really powerful lesson. Now you may have already heard of musk, maybe because it exists in perfumes or aftershaves or deodorants as a scent. And this scent is one of the most expensive natural products in the world, fetching 3 times its weight in gold. Now when this deer comes across this aroma, this scent, it becomes completely captivated. It searches through the forest day and night for the source of this scent. Completely intoxicated by this incredible fragrance, the deer searches in every corner, in every place to find where it's coming from. The deer completely exhausts itself looking for the source, with the bitter irony and not recognizing that the fragrance comes from inside its own body. The fragrance musk is produced in a gland in the deer's body. The deer spends its whole life searching for outside what was always hidden inside. I heard this example when I lived as a monk to describe the human condition of life. How we spend our whole lives looking for pleasures and happiness outside of us, when actually what we're searching for is right there inside of us. We try to find joy and happiness in external pleasures, in things, in results, when actually real happiness comes from meaning, relationships, and a connection with oneself. See, we all know that we can't love someone we don't know. So how can you love yourself when you don't know yourself? And just as this musk deer, we've probably had similar experiences. How many times have you walked out of your home and then felt that you've forgotten one of those top 3 things? Usually your keys, your wallet or purse, or your phone. You rush back in, you look around your own home, you make a mess, you make havoc, you look under every seat, every corner, and then realize that that phone, that wallet or purse, or those keys were in your back pocket. In the process of seeking happiness externally, we make a complete mess of our minds and life, and sometimes even the lives of others, not realizing that what we were truly looking for has always been with us. Today we hear a lot about self-love and self-care, that neither of these are possible without self-knowledge. without self-realization, without self-awareness. Remember, if we don't know ourselves, we can't love ourselves.
Agree?
Yes.
So, we want our lives to be better. And typically, we define a better life as a more materially rich life, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't be looking for happiness without taking your own internal journey. The journey to wealth is an external journey, but you have to go through your own internal journey. Why? You need to know. What is the meaning that you're trying to look for? Diba? So what's the purpose of that life? Why do you want to be richer? Why do you want to be wealthier? That's a good question to ask, diba? Why? So let me tell you, the Japanese have a pretty good way of okay. The Japanese have defined the search for purpose through a word they call ikigai. Have you heard of this word? Ikigai? Ikigai is defined as a reason for being. Your reason for being. Diba? Uso na ngayon yung sinasabing, what's your why? Uso ngayon, diba? What's your why? Sasabihin ni Annabelle, my why is my daughter. My why is my family. But what did the Japanese say? It's not as simple as asking yourself, what's your why, Grace? Why? There are many dimensions in your life that need to find expression for your purpose to be manifested. What does that mean? Ang sinasabi ng mga Japanese, our lives have several dimensions. And they decided to define that according to the four major dimensions of your life. Number one, what does the world need from you? That's your mission. Ask yourself the question. Do all of you agree that we've been put here on this earth for a reason? Yes. All of you agree?
Yes.
And so you have a mission in life, right? You have an obligation to go beyond yourself. And so in trying to find your meaning, you need to ask yourself the question, what does the world need from me? That is your mission. An equally important dimension of your life is, what do you love? That's your passion. When you're looking for your meaning, diba, you're often told, do what you're passionate about. That's not enough. Mission, passion. Another dimension. What are you good at? That's your profession. And then, what can you be paid for? That is your vocation. At anong sinasabi ng ikigai? You want to find your purpose? It can be found in the singular expression of all four dimensions of your life in an integrated fashion. Dapat mabigyan ng expression lahat ng aspeto ng buhay mo. Bakit? And let me explain this. Kung ang ginagawa mo, what you love and what you need, what the world needs from you lang, mission and passion. Ito yung mga nasa NGO. Meron ba nagtatrabaho sa NGO dito? You know, these people in the NGOs, they're doing really meaningful work, right? And they really love what they do. But if that's all that they're doing, they will feel delight and fullness, but they will have no will. And sadly, many of our aspirations in life require money. So this is not a fully expressed and examined life. Why? There are unmanifested dimensions of your life. Mission and passion lang. Or, eto, mission and vocation. You're doing something really meaningful and you're getting paid a lot for it. Ito yung mga doktor, di ba? May mga doktor na ayaw nila maging doktor pero meaningful yung ginagawa nila, at ang laki ng kinikita nila. Now, eto yan, mission and vocation, dito. Excitement and complacency but sense of uncertainty. Bakit ayaw nila yung ginagawa nila eh? Mahirap yung buhay na yan, ha? You're engaged in something you don't like to do. Baka pinilit ka na ng parents mo. Baka wala kang choice nung lumalaki ka. Doktor ka, doktor ako eh. Di ba? Or ito, vocation at profession. Mataas ang sweldo, magaling ka sa ginagawa mo. Akala mo, okay na yung buhay mo, di ba? Pero ano sinasabi nila? Comfortable but feeling of emptiness. Bakit? Wala kang contribution beyond yourself. Wala kang impact to the bigger community. Or ito, passion and profession. Napakagaling mo at gustong-gusto mo yung ginagawa mo. Satisfaction but feeling of uselessness. Bakit? Wala kang mission. Di ba? Anong ibig sabihin yan? If you haven't found your purpose yet, it's okay. Why? Finding your purpose in life is a journey of self-discovery. No? It's okay if you haven't found it. My purpose for you today is to be better acquainted with who you are. There's one thing you probably realize by now, you don't know yourself very well. You agree?
Yes.
You probably didn't know that your brain is a big omega bear, pag-uwi nyo. Umarap sa salamin. At kausapin yung brain. Ikaw talaga, napaka-tribal mo. Tagal-tagal ko nang kumakayon dito. Sinasabutahin mo ako eh. Di ba? But that's what your brain does. Why? Because your brain is wired not for achievement, not for enlightenment, not for purpose, but for survival. That's what the brain is wired to do. And therefore, you must go beyond the obvious limitations of your brain if you want a more meaningful life. So guys, eto no, hindi sa nire-recruit ko kayo ha, pero sabihin ko na sa inyo, napakahirap maghanap ng singular expression of your ikigai. Bakit? May mga trabaho tayo na magaganda ang sweldo pero napaka-pressure, ayaw na natin. May mga napakagandang trabaho, kulang sweldo. May mga napaka-meaningful na trabaho, wala namang pera. Sabihin ko sa inyo, ba't kayo financial advisor? Makabuluhan ba yung ginagawa nyo?
Yes.
Is it meaningful?
Yes.
Yes. Can you love what you do?
Yes.
Yes. Can you be good at it?
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, it's difficult to be good at something you don't love. Because to be good at something, you must practice. You must do it often. And you don't do that unless you love doing it. Right? So you are engaged in something meaningful, you love it, you can be very good at it, and you can be paid a lot of money for it. So the best financial advisors in this country and around the world have found their ikigai. Meaningful work, passionate about their jobs, very good at it, and they get paid a lot. You find all four in a single expression, you find your purpose. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So, when you set your vision to be life-changing, dapat vision, ha? Hindi yung, sana kumita ko ng 100,000. Hindi, dapat i-define yung vision. What's the number? What's the number? Okay? It forces you to acknowledge that the current you, your current methods, and your current rituals will not get you to where you want to be. Yung ginagawa nyo ngayon, will it take you to your number? Kung hindi, dapat may pagbabago. Ayaw magbago? Ito ang choices natin. Ito yung number. Ito ikaw. Kung yung ginagawa mo ngayon is not capable of taking you to your number, you need to change. You agree?
Yes.
You don't want to change? Give up the dream. Life is that simple. You want the dream, you have to change. You don't want to change, you give up the dream because it's not going to happen. What did we say? There will be pain. But for as long as the vision is compelling, and it has the power to pull you because of its clarity, and its compelling, irresistible pleasure, it can happen. I'll tell you a story. This is an interesting story. Part of my job is, yung mga malalaking bangko, pag hindi sila confident na ma-handle nila yung mga big clients nila, they call me. My job is to sit down there. And if they have a question they cannot answer, I answer it. If they can answer all the questions, I just keep quiet, but they pay me anyway. So my job is to sit down there, okay? So one time, this big bank called me and said, "Sir, big client coming in, can you be at the bank at 10 o'clock?" So, punta ako. Nagbihis ako kasi big client eh. Bata pa nga ako eh. Gwapo ako doon. Diba? 10 o'clock yung appointment. Client comes in 4 hours late. 4 hours late. But when he comes in, this is not a big client. This is a gigantic client. You know how big he is? He is a dollar billionaire. There are only 14 dollar billionaires in this country, and he is one of them. I cannot tell you his name, but you'll know him right away by the business that he owns, which I'll disclose to you. Part of my contract is I signed what we call a non-disclosure agreement. I cannot disclose the name. Okay. So pagpasok, said, "Oh, I'm very sorry, very sorry. I overslept last night. I was in Macau with Manny Pacquiao, and I overslept." So I go, "What? So what happened? Your plane left?" No, we brought a private plane. It just landed here. Naka-shorts lang to, ha? Naka-shorts, naka-chinelas. Bilyonaryo to, pumasok sa bangko. You know. Tapos, kalalabas lang ng iPhone 10. So, have you seen the latest iPhone 10? Diba? So anyway, bottom line is, ang tanong niya sa akin, ano ba itong estate planning? Yung tanong niya, estate planning. So usap kami, 4 na oras din. 4 na oras late, 4 na oras kami nag-usap kasi madaldal siya eh. Very, very lively. You know? So finally, tapos na. Nung palabas kami, nagkamali ako. Nagtanong pa ako ng isang tanong. Sabi ko, "Sir, I have one last question. What is it? When did you know that you were going to be a dollar billionaire?" Kasi dollar billionaire siya. Kilala niyo siya. Hindi ko lang bagitin yung pangalan, pero kilala niyo. So, yun ang tanong ko. When did you know that you were going to be a dollar billionaire? So, "Oh, what an interesting question. Come on, let's sit down. Let me tell you about it." So, no more, sir. Just answer me. Sabi niya, "I knew I was going to be a dollar billionaire the first day I opened my business. And I opened my business 40 years ago." So sabi ko, "So how did you know?" And this is what he said. And you can learn from this. Very important. How your life will turn out is a function of the kind of questions you ask yourself. The kind of questions you ask yourself will determine the outcome of your life. So tinanong ko siya, "So what did you ask yourself on the first day you opened your business?" And he said, "I asked myself the question, what will it take to sell 1 million burgers a day?" That's his business. What will it take to sell 1 million burgers a day? And so I asked him, "So how many burgers did you sell on that first day?" And he said, 3 burgers. 3 burgers. On the day he sold 3 burgers, he asked himself the question, what will it take to sell 1 million burgers a day? You know the value of that question? If he asked himself, what will it take to sell 100? He will not change what he's doing. He'll probably work harder. He'll probably open earlier, but he will not change. Pero the question was 1 million. And he acknowledged, kung ano yung ginagawa ko ngayon, hindi ako dadalhin sa 1 million ito. Kailangan baguhin ko yung ginagawa ko. And so ngayon, ilang burgers na ang binibenta niya a day? Alam niyo? Nung nagbukas ng tindahan, dun sa London, ang pila, 18 hours long. Yeah? When they opened a branch in London, Filipinos as far as Belgium lined up in London to buy, to eat. Do you have an idea what store this is?
Yes.
And burger is not his number one product. Ikaw nagsabi niya. They have a store in Manhattan, in New York. In Times Square. Can you imagine? Times Square. And it started with a question. What will it take? That's a vision. What will it take to sell 1 million burgers a day? So what question are you asking yourself? What question? If you're not asking yourself any question right now, you might want to begin crafting those questions before you sleep tonight. Where do you want to take this life? No? Because when the goal is set, the ultimate question to ask is, who do I need to become to own that goal? The moment you set the goal, what did we say? You're not going to achieve that goal by staying who you are today. You have to be a different person. So who do you need to become? Will it mean you have to study again? Will it mean you have to be an expert at something? Will it mean you need to be a partner with someone? Whatever it takes, you better have a question. Advisor, raise your hands. Why are you not asking yourselves the question, what will it take to sell 1,000 policies? Why? Because you've already decided it can't be done. All starts here. But this guy asked himself, what will it take to sell 1 million burgers a day? On the day he sold how many? 3 burgers. Who do you need to become to own that goal? So here, this will be helpful. In finding your vision and purpose, you ask yourself the question, what are the changes that you seek in your life? And why do you want it? Why? No? So you can be guided by the 4 questions of Ikigai. What's your mission? What's your passion? What's your vocation? What's your profession? Okay? Why do you want it? Who do you seek it for? Very important. Sometimes tayo, for ourselves, we're not driven. But for our children, ibang usapan yan. Di ba? You'll do everything for your kids. Why? Because they give you meaning and purpose. So who do you seek it for? What is your number? We need to concretize that number. Why? We need to have a goal that is clear and powerful, representing your irresistible pleasure. It must be compelling to pull you out of the comfort zone and past the pain of change. And how badly do you want it? Guys, this is the journey. Where you are right now, you're happy, right? You're happy, right? Yes. You want to be happier?
Yes.
You define the goal. How you define that goal will determine the outcome of your life. And when we come back some other time, you will find out that the moment that goal is set, the moment the vision is clear, the second thing you need to ask yourself is, do I have what it takes to get there? Because that's a mindset question. There are some people who, confronted with a 200 million number, will say, hindi ko kaya. Here's a problem with the way we were raised. Nung maliliit tayo, laging ang tanong, what do you want to be when you grow up? Diba? Want to be a doctor, want to be a lawyer, want to be an engineer. And we think that by becoming one, we can now define our success in all areas of our lives by becoming one. I have been lecturing doctors the last 6 months. The moment they get their number, at marangya yung buhay ng mga doktor na yan. So malalaki yung number nila, 2, 3, 400 million. Biglang magsasabi, hindi ko kaya yan, doktor lang naman ako. Baligtad ang proseso. Instead of setting this first and asking, who do I need to become to own that goal? Sila, their goal is defined by who they are. Eh, gusto lang ako eh. So may mali doon sa method na yon. Because the goal should dictate the method. Not the method dictating the goal. You know what they say? Do not limit your challenges. Challenge your limits. Right? So, in your journey, from where you are to where you want to be, you're going to be a different person. You're going to be better. You're going to improve. You're going to transform. You're going to change. And the first step is to conquer the biggest obstacle that's holding you back from a better life. And that is yourself. Thank you, guys. That's all I have to say. If you have questions, you can ask questions now.
Any questions, guys? Questions?
Oh, we have time.
Yeah. Guys, questions?
Tahimik? Dalawa lang ibig sabihin yan. Either klarong-klaro or hindi talaga klaro. Yes, Mercy, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, this is about to, in what age niyo po na-realize na na-realize yung goal niyo? Like what you have told us?
Oh, ang tagal. Ang tagal. You know why? I'll give you a flavor. Alam mo bakit kadamihan sa atin walang goal? Do you agree?
Yes.
Many of us have no goals. Why? Bakit kaya? Culture natin, no? We live in a country where the prevailing mentality is victim mentality. Now, victim. Ano ibig sabihin ng victim mentality? Pansinin nyo, sinong starring sa mga telenovela natin? Yung mga inaapi, yung mga nagpapaawa. That is the prevalent mentality of the Filipino. So anong ibig sabihin niya? No? Joey will tell you this. How you think and how you behave is shaped in the first 7 years of your life. Right? And what do you hear when it comes to money? What do you hear?
Money is evil.
No? Money is evil. Kaya kanina tinanong ko kayo, are you convinced that wealth is the ultimate destination of your life? You did not answer. That's a mindset thing. You may not want to admit it, but in your mind, early in life you were told, huwag ka na mag-ambisyon yan, mahirap lang tayo. And that's what you hear all the time, right? What did you learn about life? Life is hard. No? You know, as you were growing up and you had a feeling about money, you saw maybe your parents struggle with paying the bills, right? Or the bills were paid but not much else is getting done. So you were told, huwag ka nang hingi ng hingi dyan, hindi tayo namumulot ng pera sa daan. Many of us in this country were raised that way. So the biggest casualty of a child early in life is the ability to dream. Many of us are afraid to dream. Bakit? What were we told? Mahirap na tayo. And you hear that all the time? That becomes part of your mindset. Mindset is a fascinating topic. Unfortunately, this is a really long topic. It may take me 3 hours. So maybe we can agree on the second session if you want to come back. Right, because this is the journey, right? This is the journey. I'm telling you. You set the destination, and your mindset does not support it, it will not happen. Mindset is very important. No? So, you might be wondering, hirap ng pera, di ba? And then only for you to realize, it's how you think about money. How do you feel when you eat out? Guilty? Many people feel that way. Now, I feel guilty about eating out because my mom told me I should sleep. There's a scarcity mindset or there's an abundance mindset. And if you are a scarcity mindset, you don't attract money. You repel money. So it's interesting now. So the question to ask is, when? I'll answer your question with another question. one lady in my class stood up and said, so how do you tell your child when they're asking for another useless toy? How do you tell them that you should not buy? Right? And this was my answer to her. Problema nating Pinoy, hindi ko naman nilalahatan. Wala tayong respeto sa mga anak natin. No? So here's the answer. Who said it's useless? Ikaw nagsabi. It's useless to you, not to your child. Right? The fact na hiningi niya yan, that's not useless. That's important to him. So how do you say it? The first question to ask is, why is that important to you? You ask. Because the message you're communicating is, I value your opinion. So I need to know, why is that important to you? Second, what are you willing to do to get that? What does that mean? If you put in the effort and you believe, nothing's impossible. But what's the typical Filipino parent answer? Huwag ka na humingi niyan, hindi tayo namumulot ng pera sa daan. And that's all they hear all the time. At some point, they will refuse to dream. Why? They become convinced. And the moment you believe, your belief dictates your life. You believe you're destined to be poor? You will be poor. Why? That's what you attract in your life. Mindset's very important. So guys, when you journey here to there, we have accomplished only one goal so far, and that is, we have set the goal. But now the question is, the moment you see the goal, what does your mind tell you? Can you do it or not? Whether you say yes or no, you're always correct. No? Yes, I can do it, you can. Yes, I cannot do it, you cannot. It's up to you. No? Mindset. Your beliefs are not you. But unless you're aware of what you believe in, and these beliefs control your life, you have to go forward. So guys, actually, we finished only one tool, right? And like I told Joey, I'm always excited and willing to share with you everything that I know. So if we can have another class and you want to come back, then let's have another go for it. I'll talk about the second tool, and then the third tool, and then you'll be ready. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Wala na? Oh, may tanong kanina. Sino yun? Lisa, may tanong ka. Nasagot ko na? Nasagot ko without being asked?
Mindset. Because I have already goals, 10 goals, araw-araw ko susunod nila. Pero parang, nangyayari. Ano mangyayari?
I'll give you a preview. Your thoughts are energy. And so, the energy of your thoughts are like a magnet. It attracts what you think. You think you're poor? That's what you attract. You think you're rich? That's what you attract. So what am I saying? What am I saying? The law of attraction works up to a certain point, but you also need to understand that the universe will not give you anything. You have to work for it. So, what am I saying? The reason kung bakit meron tayong pangalawa, which is the mindset, at pangatlo, which is money, is because you need to understand that at the end of the day, you must know how to do it. How? You want to be rich? There's no magic to it. There's a science to it, there's an art to it, but there's no magic to it. At the end of all these talks, from the vision to the daily things you need to do in order for you to reach your goal, you will find that out. So hopefully, let's set another date, Joey. And I expect to see all of you here again. Para naman hindi sayang yung first session natin na hanggang panaginip ka lang. Diba? Kasi ngayon, nananaginip pala tayo. It's very important though. Natatawa tayo. Sabi natin, nananaginip. Very important to dream. Why? Very many people in this country are incapable of dreaming. And if you cannot dream, better things won't happen. Right? Okay, thank you very much.
How rich do you feel right now? Because I'm saying everything has been given to you for free today. Ang dami yan. Free venue, And now we have, he's not even asking us to give him anything. He's okay to like just, share with us his knowledge. I paid 40,000 to take the CWP course. 40,000. He only spoke for like half a day. Most of the time it was, Attorney Cabrera and Ricky. But I wanted to really like listen to him more. It's just that after CWP, hindi ko na siya narinig. But I was like begging him, let's have a coffee date. I wanted to just, pick his mind. And finally,
After 2 years.
after 2 years, eto na pinagbigyan niya. And not just me, it's, with you. I wanted to share this with the whole Mango, kaya lang we don't have a venue eh. So, and again, like I said, kasi nga this is very limited, I thought that we would be 50, pero okay na rin, diba? They didn't want us to fill this room, kasi nga, syempre, for safety purposes. But, I even offered, diba, to Mango. Sabi ko, yun nga lang, they have to pay. Kasi nga, this is gastos ng 3 unit managers. Alright? Just to let you know that we really spent for this. And, libre sa inyo, but sa amin hindi. Masakalap yan. And the thing is, most of, our invites are recruits. Meaning, wala pa yung balik talaga, right? We're not even sure if you're gonna be recoded with us. But, we just wanted to share this with you and to let you know that this is the kind of training that you will get if you join us, if you join these co-managers of money. Kasi yung thinking namin talaga is to just give you everything that you would be needing. Especially in my team, di ba? Ang swerte natin, di ba? Kasi naaral na natin how money works. And I had, if you want to follow me on Facebook, I have the 30-day, what's that again? Money challenge. If you want to follow that, because I did that like 10 years ago pa. I did that when I was starting. Because it would really change your beliefs about money. You can start there, but along the way, if you really just challenge yourself to do the challenge every day, then eventually you will come to this point when your mindset is really different now. You will have an abundance mindset, and life will be better for all of you. So again, let's thank Sir Jong. We have something.
This certificate is awarded to Sir Jong Merida for imparting his valuable insights and inspiration to Sun Life Financial Advisors under Mango Branch Units Brown Falcon, Mighty Condors, and Canada Geese during their Q3 planning with theme Financial Independence Day, given this 12th day of June 2019 at Bonifacio Global Center.
Thank you very much.
And also with the group, probably if we can we'll give some seats here for the service.
Selfie na lang.
Adi would do it. Physically, sana yan ang physical. Kaya yan here. Siguro si Stick. Stick ko yun.
Lapit.
Squeeze in, Carol.
those who are thinking of becoming advisors, it's a good time to think about it. Decide your plan. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, sir. We'll have our lunch. Yeah. We have to eat the lunch there sa Patman, so let's order. And then we all come back here. Pwedeng ano na lang, can I get
Dito na. MC Carol.